Hello, my name's Caden. Welcome to my eportfolio here. Thanks for considering me for this position as well. Here I'm just going to go over my eportfolio to show some of my skills and experience in the past and convince you that I'm a good hire. So, basically, um, I am a high school student at Gull Lake High School, and I'm also dual enrolled at KVCC right now. I am taking classes there at the end of my day and some online classes as well. I'm mostly taking computer science classes there right now, so I'm getting ahead in what I actually enjoy doing. And then I talk about my certifications here on my homepage. So I've gotten my Test Out PC Pro certification, and I'm working towards my Test Out Security Pro certification and my EC Council Ethical Hacking Essentials certification. In the future, I really want to obtain a Security Plus and Network Plus certification because those are the industry standard, basically. And then I also talk about here how I plan to transfer to Western Michigan University or Ferris State University after KVCC. I'm not going to get a full degree at KVCC. I want to transfer to a school that is better in cybersecurity and computer science. So that's pretty much it for my home page here. So let's go on to my computer science page. Here I just talk about what I define computer science as, and then there's links to all the stuff in my drop-down menu here, and some extra stuff. Some of my other categories, such as resume and research and development, is not in my drop-down menu either. Okay, and now let's go to a cybersecurity page. So in here I just talk about what cybersecurity is. I demonstrate with this video how I know how to create hashes to secure documents so that we can make sure that they are the correct documents. I give a link to online MD5 here, which is a online MD5 hashing website. I give a link to my Cyber Patriot competition page, so you can go to that if you so choose to. And then I have some of my Cisco Net Academy labs here, showing that I believe are showing good networking skills that are important, such as this one, where we go into the
Well,
switches through command line and configure stuff. And then I give a link to my engineering notebook here, which is basically everything that I've learned. I've compiled it all into a notebook for future reference, and so others can use it as well. So there's a link to that. Now let's go to my next page in the drop-down menu. So the next page is my PC Pro certification here. So I am certified in this one, so there's my big nice certificate, which I am very proud of. So if we click on that, you can see a PDF as well. It has all the official stuff, such as the candidate and certificate IDs, so you know it's real. And then I have all my weekly vlogs of my PC Pro progress back when I did that in 2021 and 22. So you can click on these, see what I was really going through, and some of the stuff that I know from these videos. You can tell what I was doing and what I actually know versus what, they want you to learn in the certification outline. So that's pretty much it for this page. It's just a lot of videos showing my experience in the certification. So the next page is my Security Pro certification page, so let's go to that. This one I am not certified in yet, so it doesn't have the big certification, but it does have the progress vlogs. So I am about 13 weeks into the progress vlogs here, and it's just showing the same thing, just that I'm going through learning stuff. It shows me doing some of the labs, and that to show that I actually know this stuff. So let's go to my next tab here. So here's my Cisco Net Academy page. On this page I just have more vlogs showing me going through the Cisco Net Academy stuff and showing the stuff that I learned in it. This is pretty old, 2021. I haven't done Cisco Net Academy in a while, but I think all the info is still pretty stored in my head. Very good. Shows me going through Wireshark, and that it has some of the labs here as well. It shows me going through Wireshark in that one, using a create. I made this crossover cable here, and then me testing it, and then showing the actual data to show that it actually works. And another lab here, going over in Packet Tracer a bunch of configuration that I do. So let's go to the next tab here. So the next one is making network cables. I thought this might have its own little tab here because it's a good skill to have, and I have a lot of info on videos on it. So here's a menu with a bunch of pictures in it, going through the process of me making the network cable. So, and then it has a little detail at the bottom here, like this one plugging into the wire tester. They are numbered. So right now I'm on number 1. There we go. So basically it's showing it in order, tools you need, and the steps it takes. Pictures of me going through every step for the slideshow here. And I just thought that was pretty cool to make, so I did. I talk about the differences between crossover cables and straight through cables, and show some more videos of me testing it. I have some useful images here so you know what a crossover cable is when you're making it or when you're trying to use them. And then I also have the resource I used to make this linked, so anyone can go to that and look at that. So let's go to the next page here. Next is my Microsoft Azure certification page. This is a certification that I worked on for a while, a good couple weeks, and then I did not do anything else on it. I decided it was probably in my best interest to start on a different certification instead. So there's a link to my engineering notebook here that can be clicked on as well. And I basically just have the one video here and explaining what the Microsoft Azure certification is. So in the one video I just go over some of the stuff that I actually did in the Microsoft Azure certification, such as creating a SQL database and querying it to make sure I can retrieve data from it. Let's go actually and look at my engineering notebook here for a little bit. So it's a OneNote, and this is specifically my Microsoft Azure certification OneNote. So I have links for each of the parts here, and a bunch of stuff in each one on how to do the things. So I list the Azure services so I can have those for the future. Talk about the differences between the different clouds, what they are, the service modules, the availability zones and regions. So it's just basic cloud computing stuff, and it is just a basic cloud computing certification that I was trying to get some knowledge about cloud computing from. So let's go to my next tab. This is a tab for a specific class I took in my high school. This was my freshman year class here, Computer Science and Software Engineering. So in this one, I just go over all the projects and stuff I've done in my Computer Science and Software Engineering class, such as creating and opening virtual machines, so I know how to do that. Repositories and PyCharm, so we do some coding in our class here, and then I decided to put that on here. And then we make repositories in GitHub for our code to back it up in GitKraken here. So that was pretty cool to learn, pretty useful for the future I think, so I don't lose stuff and I can always just have it on GitHub. Talk about the training labs that I did here. So there's some nice pictures here showing my code that I wrote, and my GitHub here, and all the commits I've made. The code for this one is obviously very simple. I was pretty much just learning how to make it. So it's like, yeah, only a few lines and very simple. But it's nice to know. And then we did a project, 2 projects actually, a drone project and a team project with a entire team. So here's a slideshow of my project here. So what we did for it was we decided we were going to make uh, it was a dog feeder that automatically uh, put out the food for the dog. So you can see I'm using a Arduino Uno here, and you can see all of the wires that I had to put in to the breadboard to make it work and configure the electronics on it. So that was pretty cool. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot from it, I think, about electricity and breadboards and Arduinos and all that. There's a tutorial video link here where we go to our final cut of our Arduino project.
Hey, this is Kate.
So that's there linked as well. And then my GitHub repository is linked for that for the Arduino team project. So we can see all the GitHub info there, all the commits, etc., all the files. And then next project here that I put on here is my Tello drone project. So we used drones that you can code, and we made
Hello,
them
this is
do stuff, go around, etc. So there's a lot more code written for this than there was for the first thing I showed up here. A lot more than in the training lab. And we actually got them to do stuff, such as doing a flip in the air, flying around in a certain path. So that was really cool to learn, and I felt like it was a good experience there, and I felt like it'll be helpful in the future. It really got me into learning to code and having fun with it and enjoying it. Next, let's go to my research and development tab here. So first thing, I have links to the research and development, which are separate. So if you go to research, it's a separate page you can only get through there. You can see some of the research I did, the pros and cons of certain things, of certain editing software that I needed for the project I decided to do for my research and development class, which is what this tab's for. And then you can also see on this page, so I just talk about my research and development class and how we had to do a project in it. So basically it's a class where we have the entire time for the class to work on a project that we want to work on. So I decided I was going to, me and some friends decided we were going to make a game together. So we made a website for our game, By Click Gaming. Pretty good name there, I thought. But I was just a freshman in high school, so might be a little cheesy. Go through the website here in this video. And then we have our actual final project. We made a clicker game. It doesn't have the best visuals, but it was a functioning game, and it was, it was something we made, so that was really cool to be able to make it. In my development page here that I clicked on the button to go to, I have vlogs of all my progress through the development, starting with the oldest one in 2019, and then going all the way up to 2020. We worked on it for a good portion of a year there, but it was on and off. We only had, unless you take the actual research and development class, you only get 1 day a week to work on your research and development project. So originally I was installing Unity, figuring that out. I made a website in the second one, and then updated Unity. I created the Unity project, finished the start screen, and worked on Unity some more in that video. In this one I figured out the virtual machine for it. In this one I added buttons and scripts that actually make the buttons do stuff, which was a little difficult to learn, but eventually figured it out in Unity. In this one I worked on the scripts and added more buttons and website improvements. In this one I added status boxes for cash amounts, etc., because obviously it's a clicker game. You get money from clicking, so the goal is to click as much as you can and then upgrade to get more. And just talk about some more of my development things here. How I had to restart my code here on something. How I fixed a variable, changed the background again, added more variables, and added animations, etc. until we get to the final project, which was our last one at the top here. Um, so that's pretty much it for my entire computer science pages on everything under that drop-down menu. So let's go to our Cyber Patriot drop-down menu, and then eventually we'll get through the rest here. There's not that much left after we go through the computer science one. So I also, in my cybersecurity class, we do a competition called Cyber Patriot. It is the competition made by the Air Force Association. It's a youth program, so only middle school and high school. So I talk about here how I worked on that in a team. Here's a promo video on what Cyber Patriot is, made by Cyber Patriot Air Force Association. Here's my certificate showing that I was involved in it. It's just a participation certificate, and so is that one, but this one is for a different year. I did do this for 3 years, Cyber Patriot. There was also a little text here that I missed. Basically explaining more of what Cyber Patriot is. So we get we get 3 virtual machines to basically start in the first round only. You get 3 virtual machines, virtual boxes, a Windows one, a Ubuntu one, and a Windows Server one, and we have to configure these so that they are secure. They're insecure when we get them. We have to make them more secure, and we get points for doing that. And then that's basically how it's scored and what the competition is. Here's a photo of my team, all my school's teams, and my team for the most recent Cyber Patriot competition in my senior year, CPXV. Here you can see all of my teammates here. Ethan, there's me, then there's Dominic, Witten, and Brady. And then in my incident report here, you can see what I actually did. I made a presentation on all the stuff that I did in the competitions this one specifically for the state round of the competition. And I go through basically the references I used to do the competition, all the forensics questions, which are just extra questions that can give you points. I go through all the things I did to use it to manage the users here, all the things I did for password policies, all the things I did for like application management, because obviously part of having an insecure system is having random applications that you probably shouldn't have, antivirus stuff, policies, updates, etc., and just other security changes that I made and I presented in this video. If I go to this image here, it is a link to my incident report, so anyone can go in and view this. If I go to my doomsday notes here, basically they're called that if there's a doomsday and if I'm not here, my teammates can use my Ubuntu notes for my doomsday notes for the competition, and they can go through, look at all the commands I have in my doomsday notes, all the things that I have written down how to do, all the extra resources that I might use in the competition when I run out of things that I know how to do to try to find more. And that's pretty much it for the Cyber Patriot page here. There is one more page though, Cyber Patriot training images. So in this one, I have just 3 vlogs on each of the different virtual boxes. So this one's Windows 10, this one's Ubuntu, and this one's Windows Server. And I just go through them here in the video, and I kind of explain, the stuff that you would do in a training round. These are the training rounds, so it's not the actual competition rounds. And I explain some of the stuff that I do in the training round to secure it, such as here you can see me going to the policies and going into the user accounts and changing those. But that's pretty much it for the Cyber Patriot page here. So let's go to my next one, my resume page. So here in my resume page, I have all of my obvious resume things, my education, my career aspirations, technical skills, certifications, and extracurriculars. So in here I just go over my GPA, previous work experience. This is basically a summary in my career aspirations. In my education, I talk about how I am enrolled in KVCC, dual enrollment, and Gull Lake High School. In my technical skills, I talk about I list everything that I know basically. So here, I list how I know some. I know the basics of Python, C++, and C Sharp. I talk about the video editors I know how to use, and photo editors. Talk about the development tools that I've used in the past, the training labs I've done, the operating systems that I am familiar with. Talk about my routing skills, so my networking skills in computer science. Talk about the technical skills I've got from certifications, such as like installing PC components, uh, implementing remote access, configuring the PC networking, updating, configuring operating system, managing file systems, etc. So next on it, I have my certification tab here, and I talk about the certifications I've got and the ones I'm working towards right now. The three here I am working towards currently, and the one down here that I will work towards in the future, my Networking Plus. So I have my PC Pro, working on Security Pro, Security Plus, and EC Council Ethical Hacking Essentials. And then my extracurriculars, I have done boys tennis at my high school for 3 years, and I have a varsity letter for that, and I also have a varsity letter for marching band and concert band. And I put Cyber Patriot in my extracurricular there. So let's go to my last couple tabs here. So I have a specific tab just for my extracurriculars and hobbies and family, where I talk about my family, my hobbies such as tennis and gardening, etc. I make my own salsa, etc. And how what my family consists of, what my parents do, all that. And then my last page, I have a contact me page where you can get in touch with me by writing a simple thing here, and then email, subject, message, and you press submit, and it works. Obviously, I haven't actually filled it out here, so it won't work. Um, and that's pretty much it. Let's go back to the home page here and show a couple more features I didn't show at the beginning. My bottom menu here also. So it's the same as the top menu, except it has a few extra things. There's my quote there. It also has a link to my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel, a professional YouTube channel that I put all of my videos in, all of my vlogs, all of my everything, all my training videos, etc. And then I also, one thing I didn't talk about before, I have a link to Cyber Patriot, uscyberpatriot.org up here. If you click on that image, so you can go to that. And I think that pretty much goes over everything on my portfolio there. And I hope it really helped you realize that I'm good for this job, and I've been improving myself for a long time and want to continue improving myself at your company, hopefully.